Moving on, we shift our focus to another ecosystem, the lobby that feels hurt every time Pakistan's reality gets exposed. First, it was Dhurandhar slammed for exposing Pakistan's dark playbook. Now it's Border 2, the sequel to an iconic war film that is being branded propaganda. Like Dhurandhar, Border 2 has also been denied release by the Gulf nations, citing anti-Pakistan content. Now, a movie based on patriotism and the sacrifice of our Jawans is bound to have anti-Pak sentiments. And what is the problem if a movie literally named The Border villainizes Pakistan, the sponsor, facilitator and exporter of cross-border terror? Here are the problems listed by the opposition leaders, that such films target friendly nations and hurt sentiments. That's what they portray is not patriotism but a scripted version of BJP's jingoism. The question now is, a country that pursues the policy of bleeding India by 1,000 cuts, does our opposition really want us to care about its emotions? And how is a country that fosters terrorists who kill our citizens and soldiers a friendly nation?
देखिए, बड़े दुख से मुझे कहना पड़ रहा है कि जो इस तरीके की अब बॉलीवुड जिस तरफ जा चुका है, जैसे कि ये मूवी आई है बॉर्डर 2, अगर आप इसको देखें, कहीं ना कहीं मुझे लगता है ये भाजपा का जो एजेंडा है उसको कहीं ना कहीं ये पूरा करने का काम कर रही है।
कि मैं फिल्म को फिल्म की दृष्टि से देखता हूँ। फिल्मों को सेंसर करना, उसको रोक देना उचित नहीं है। हाँ, अगर उसका कोई पार्ट ऐसा है जो किसी की भावनाओं को आहत करता हो और वास्तव में आहत करता हो, वैसे नहीं कहने के लिए सिर्फ, या वास्तव में उसमें कुछ झूठ परोसा जा रहा हो, उसको निश्चित तौर पे रोका जाना चाहिए।
निश्चित तौर पे नए भारत की नई तस्वीर। मुझे लगता है कि देश के प्रधानमंत्री जी को और देश के सिनेमाकारों को, जो फिल्मकार हैं, जो राइटर हैं, जो गीतकार हैं, इनको एक ऐसी परिपाटी अपनानी चाहिए जिससे कि भारत का नाम दुनिया में सुनहरे अक्षरों से लिखा जाए, पढ़ा जाए, जाना जाए, ना कि आरएसएस की उस काली स्याही और काले कलम से लिखा जाए।
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 2 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Ashwini Kumar Mishra continues to be with us. We're joined by Lalit Ambardar, activist, Ishkaran Bhandari, advocate, Supreme Court, and Hareesh Mohamed Ibrahim, political analyst. Ashwini Kumar, Gulf countries may have their own reasons, but what is the problem of the opposition in this country? Since when did Pakistan become a friendly nation whose sentiments are not to be hurt? And how does an anti-Pak movie, really bother us? And why should it bother us?
It's perfectly okay to make anti-Pak movie. In fact, Pakistanis are enemy nation. But why are you not bothered Gulf nation banning it? Don't you think our Vishwaguru has taken lot of awards there? You know that, Swati ji will be shocked to hear that lot of Gulf countries, airlines does not employ any Hindu, specifically any Hindu on their payroll. They will go for anyone else but except Hindu. And our Vishwaguru go and take their highest honor. So, aap bataiye, is it not a diplomatic failure of our government?
The movie will decide diplomacy.
Concerning?
The movie will decide. Diplomacy is based on a movie. Diplomatic relations are decided based on movies.
If you tell me, if a movie which is anti-Pakistan and banned by Gulf nation, then is it not a diplomatic failure? How will you decide?
The UAE president came after the entire Dhurandhar controversy.
Honestly, and the same UAE had a NATO-like pact with Pakistan right after Modi ji got the award there. What kind of diplomacy is this?
The diplomacy is not decided on the base of a movie being released. And if it is an anti-Pak movie, like I said, Gulf nations have their own reasons. But what is the problem of our opposition? Ishkaran Bhandari?
What is their reason? Why?
Thank you. The simple problem is patriotic movies cause a panic in our ecosystem because they want to show Indian army as an occupation force, or they want to show how because of some reason an Indian army officer is the one leading a terror attack. Do you remember the movie Main Hoon Na? Or movies where they show love affairs or romance between Pakistani agents and Indian agents. Do you remember the Besharmi in the Besharam Rang song? And all those movies who talk about Aman Ki Asha, that there are Pakistani officers who are willing to help Indian officers, and the people doing terror may be either an Indian officer or some misguided foreign national or some arms dealer. Whereas the reality is Pakistan is the sponsor and the birther and the protector of terrorist activities in this nation, in Bharat, and also across the region. And that is why a border movie is made for India. Bollywood is an Indian entity. It has to make movies for India. If Pakistan bans it or Pakistani supporters in some other country ban it, how does it matter? We showed our economic power. Dhurandhar is what, 1,300, 1,500 crores. We do not need a Pakistan. We do not need other nations. Giving an example of USA, a nation is strong because of its strength. Not because Pakistanis watch Indian movies
Right.
or Bangladeshis watch Indian movies. That is the point. But the bigger danger, I'll finish by saying this, the biggest danger is faced by an ecosystem in Bharat which panics before.
But why does the
their
ecosystem,
ability
Hareesh
to
Ibrahim,
portray our
Hareesh Ibrahim, why does the ecosystem focus on Pakistan being villainized? Why don't you focus on glorification of the valor and bravado of our forces? A salute to our forces. Why don't you focus on that? The entire focus is on villainizing Pakistan and having a problem with it.
Oh, I have a different opinion on this. Having said that, first calling Pakistan as their friendly nation, which is what I should be rebutting on. It is a rogue nation for whatever the cross-terrorism which has been inculcated into the Indian soil. Having said that, the geopolitics is different, how the BJP wanted to play, and because of what they tried to do inside India by provoking through all kind of propaganda movies such as Kerala Files and so on and so forth. Having said that, whether this is going to have any rippling effects in the Gulf nations, no, the geopolitics play different, and there are multinationals who have been living there, including Pakistanis, including Indians, including Bangladeshis. So any kind of movement which can destabilize their nation, they will be taking an account of. Having said that, whether the Indians should make sure these kind of movies which patronize India and which is putting Pakistan in dark light should be celebrated inside India, that shouldn't be done. Even if it is opposition party, we should have the second thought about it. But having said that, the BJP should stop doing the geopolitics in the way of doing the propaganda movies, even
No, but
with the cross-border.
is BJP making these movies?
There are, because Kerala Stories, you can say that it has been out saying that it is a true story. Then later on, there is an
I'm talking about Border. I'm talking about Border that is based on what transpired in 1971, that talks about the courage of our soldiers, that talks about the sacrifices, the supreme sacrifice made by our soldiers. Why link that to BJP's propaganda? Why link that to RSS?
No, that is what. Once you say 2-3 movies on a propaganda level, then even if you take the right thing, it will be seen as a propaganda, right? So you have to make sure that art and culture should be left alone with the artists.
No. Only if you want to see it from that prison. Only if you want to see it from that angle of propaganda will you see propaganda. Lalit Ambardar, please do come in.
I pity this, what you call ecosystem led by left liberal, so-called left liberal Democrats. They are actually Pak apologists, right? You know, at a time when Pakistanis themselves are dancing to the tune of Dhurandhar, these guys are sulking. Can you imagine? Why should we make a movie that depicts the glorious fervor, that shows the bravery of Flight Lieutenant Nirmaljeet Singh Sekho, the only Paramir Chakra Air Force Vijeta, who saved Srinagar Airport in 1971. He saved Kashmir for India. Why should we make a movie on that? Just because it offends Pakistan's sensibilities and its pan-Islamic friends across the world? Listen, Pakistan, Gulf countries, Pakistanis, they have a pan-Islamic fraternity. They do not care whether India is helping them economically, industrially or otherwise. Because when it comes to Ummah, pan-Islamic sentiment, they will always support Pakistan. Can you imagine 1971 war? Which Arab country supported India? Even in 1965, Jawaharlal Nehru's close personal friend, Jamal Abdel Nasser, he chose to be neutral. He chose to be neutral. And can you imagine, why can't we make a movie on the daughter of Nankana Sahib Granthi, who was kidnapped by Pakistanis and converted to Islam? Why can't we make a movie on the genocide of Hindus or Sikhs in Pakistan? Why not? Why should it offend the Indians here? Why should it offend the Indians here? The Muslims, look at the irony of it. The Muslims in the Gulf are showing religious sentiments towards Pakistan, and even in India only we cannot show the genocide of Hindus and Sikhs happening in Pakistan. Just because it offends
Ashwini Kumar
these,
Mishra, someone in Mr. Manoj in the Samajwadi Party says this impacts the image of India. How does this impact the image of India?
Swati, just small question. When was Border 1 released? Was BJP in government? So who's opposing the movie? We are opposing the ban. We are opposing the ban Gulf countries have put up because our Wish Guru keep telling that
No, but why are you so rattled with what's happening? One second. Does this not do injustice to? Does this not do injustice to the movie itself? When you say we are not opposing the movie, but we are talking about what the Gulf countries are doing. Ashwini Kumar Mishra.
स्वाति जी, देश में हर तरीके की मूवी हर समय पे बनती हैं. स्टॉप दिस प्रोपेगेंडा कि अभी सिर्फ पाकिस्तान के अगेंस्ट मूवी बन रही है. पहले प्रो पाकिस्तान बनती थी.
अरे पर ये
अभी भी प्रो पाकिस्तान बनती है, अगेंस्ट पाकिस्तान बनती है. हर तरीके का
ये तो आप अपने
नैरेटिव होता है.
ये आप अपने एलाय से पूछिए ना. तो ये आप अपने एलाय से पूछिए. आज अचानक इतना दर्द क्यों हो रहा है? अपने एलाय से पूछिए, समाजवादी पार्टी से पूछिए, जिस इकोसिस्टम की बात की जा रही है उनसे पूछिए. अगर पहले भी मूवी बनती थी तो आज दिक्कत क्यों हो रही है ऑल ऑफ अ सडन कि एंटी पाकिस्तान मूवी बनाई जा रही है, गल्फ कंट्रीज को प्रॉब्लम हो रही है? व्हाई दिस नैरेटिव नाउ?
दर्द इसलिए हो रहा है क्योंकि गल्फ कंट्रीज हमारे मित्र देश हुआ करते थे.
आज भी
हमारे मित्र
आज
देश
भी
नहीं
है.
है.
चिंता, इतनी चिंता मत कीजिए. आप भी आज भी है. आप देख रहे हैं यूएई के प्रेसिडेंट अभी आके गए. One second. आप देख रहे हैं. You know, is this only for votes? Again, it all boils down to just vote bank. Is this only for votes and to cater a particular vote bank? I have to wrap up on that note, gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast, and thank you to our viewers for watching us.